This is a conversation with Tom Abbott, CEO of Green Easy, who will be talking to us about the challenges we face in residential and commercial developments in particular. So just to break the ice, hello Tom, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you, Magda?
Very well. I often start by asking about places you like to go, particularly in the area where you are. So it doesn't have to be there, but would quite like if you were to share your favorite place where you spend some time and why.
I do like being high up in mountains, getting clean air, and maybe snowboarding or on a beach, just having a long walk. So near where I live in Suffolk, there's a beach village called Walberswick with very beautiful beach. And also there's a place in North Norfolk called Hokum where they have a very sandy big beach where they filmed the opening scenes of the movie Shakespeare in Love. So when I go there, I like to go for a run or take dogs for a walk and things like that. So I think it's all about finding a place where you can feel relaxed and feel like you don't have to worry about what you're doing. I think you know what I mean.
Awesome. It sounds superb. So thank you for that. In recent years, we have had a huge need for residential and commercial development. How do you and your team in Green Easy actually support the housing and commercial growth?
So within the team at Green Easy, we offer a number of sustainability consultancy services. For example, BREEAM, WELL and LEED. These are free core services that we offer.
Okay, so you offer the whole range. And I believe that you are involved in all these sustainability assessments, which is great. Would you provide us with some examples of the kind of projects that you're involved in?
Sure. So I started off as a BREEAM assessor back in 2011. So it'll be 9 years this year. Well, I had a break working in Asia up until 2015, and then since 2015 I've been working full time on BREEAM. So some examples of projects that we've worked on have been mainly commercial buildings, for example, schools, medical buildings like doctor surgeries, supermarkets, nightclubs, offices, student accommodation, industrial facilities. So we've worked across the whole range of buildings. We've even worked on bespoke buildings which have been specifically designed to fit their own scheme because they don't really fit in any other BREEAM scheme. For example, the nightclub that I worked on was bespoke because it didn't really fit under any other category, so they had to design a whole new system. And then talking about residential, I haven't really done a lot of work on the residential front, but I have worked on various BREEAM domestic refurbishments in London because there are parts of London where it's required by the local authority. For example, I've worked on projects in Richmond and Twickenham. Mm-hmm. Also, I've worked on old Code for Sustainable Homes projects, which isn't actually required anymore by the UK government, but it was basically the residential version of BREEAM for new housing. And I was working on a legacy project like this last year at Chelsea Barracks, which was a think 4 apartments, each valued at £10 million, owned by the Qatari royal family.
All right. So do you see, once you have done your sustainability assessment, do you see that there's a change in the actual client? Do they look at it and actually immediately implement the requirements? How does that work?
I think it differs really between client. Some clients are only doing it because they have to. For example, meeting planning requirements. But some clients want to carry out BREEAM because they see it adds value to the building. For example, I worked with a £500 million investment company called Castle Forge, who are based in the Channel Islands, and they buy buildings, refurbish them, and then either let them out or sell them. And they see, by having the building assessed under BREEAM, it gives more value to the actual building, both environmentally and economically.
Many organizations would be wanting to do BREEAM, and one of their concerns could be, this is going to cost me a lot of money. So are there things that people can do to also make it cost efficient?
It depends on what the rating requirement is. For London, the rating requirement is excellent. And it's very difficult sort of picking and choosing credits. You really have to target a large majority of credits because the percentage rating is 70%, so you have to get 70% of the credits available. With Very Good, it's only 55%, so it's easier to sort of drop expensive credits with the Very Good rating. I'm not really sure that answers your question quite as you had in mind, so if you want to ask me something more to do with that question.
Well, it's just finding out if there are certain materials. I suppose people would have to become quite creative in the way they use materials from an architectural perspective in order to be able to bring quality and innovation. But I suppose that is down to the actual design and the consultancy from different disciplines to bring that level of benefit into a sustainable way.
So if I'm brought into a project at pre-concept design stage, I would always advise for the project manager to use sustainable construction materials. Sometimes these materials can be quite expensive, but at the same time, a lot of these sustainable materials are now becoming standard throughout the sector.
So basically the lesson learned is bring in your sustainability elements from the very beginning, as early as possible, and design with those in mind. And that is one way in which efficiencies can be brought in by being able to comply with all the criteria and also having some really creative, innovative, and forward-looking design.
I think in an ideal world, that would be amazing.
So basically, one of the things that we can actually promote, and that we are promoting through this website, and clearly through through Green Easy website as well as the podcast, is actually being able to bring everybody on board as quickly as possible, so that we can all go forward together and be able to find those efficiencies. So in your day-to-day interactions, you face huge challenges in terms of marketing and communication. Is there anything that you would like to share as to how you have overcome that level of communication across the board?
Okay, so I come from a technical background as a BREEAM assessor. So previously, during my work as an employee working for a company, my job was mainly to do technical project work, not really focused too much on business development, but I did a little bit of business development, but obviously that wasn't in my remit for my job description. But since founding Green Easy back in June last year, I've had to do training, both from myself and learning from other people on how to improve my business development skills. So, for example, this afternoon I have a meeting with a marketing company in Ipswich called Freel, and they're helping me hopefully with my business development. But at the same time, we also have people around the world working for the company on an individual basis. For example, we have a French lady who lives in Stavanger, who's working with us, and also a guy called John Cullum, who's based in Bournemouth. So it's basically with Green Easy, it's a big team effort, and we're a partnership. So we all have other income as well. So working with Green Easy, this is because it's a small company. We have to have another form of income. I think in the future we'd like to sort of spend 100% of our time on Green Easy, but at the moment, especially with this current situation with coronavirus and the future being uncertain with finances in the world, we have to diversify. And that sort of leads me on to the podcast that I've been working on called the Sustainable Construction Podcast, which is a podcast series available on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, talking about different people or professionals in the sustainability world and how they operate. For example, I've interviewed yourself, Magda, for the Sustainable Construction Podcast. Do you have any other questions to do with business development? As I said previously, it's not something that I know a great deal about. But I think when you're a small company, it's all about getting potential clients to know who you are. So reaching out to people on LinkedIn is very useful. And then there's many strategies. Basically, you can write companies letters, all sorts of things. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, and thank you.
Yes, very much so. I think, in fact, it has answered a little bit about what's next for Tom Abbott and Green Easy. So I wondered if you had anything else that you would like to add.
Well, we're coming up to our year's anniversary. So the first year of the company is always quite tricky, and we're still running. So something to celebrate. So we have a 10-year plan. We're a global sustainability consultancy. We have operations at the moment in New York and the UK. These are our two main focus points, but in the future we're working with partners in Qatar, in the Middle East, and also Brazil and Nigeria. And one of our assessors is based in Montenegro as well. So as you can see, we're quite spread out around the world, and this Zoom meeting has really helped us have team meetings and get together at least once a fortnight maybe, and WhatsApp is a great way of communicating. So all in all, I think we'll carry on building the company, and hopefully as time goes by we'll make more money, but at the same time we'll fight climate change and basically carry on preserving the world, because that's the main reason I got into sustainability, to save from self-destruction, basically.
If you need a hand of anybody that has to go to Montenegro, I'd put my hand up. I totally love Montenegro. So thank you very much, Tom. And that was Tom Abbott and Green Easy. And we will speak to you next time, hopefully in 6 months.